The poor caretaker. I fear his long-standing duties here have affected him.
Hello, everyone. Science Viking here, and it is time to return to Darkest Dungeon. So I have more recruits than usual, and I have 3 empty spaces in the roster, so the question is, who do I collect? Let's see, what are we low on? Let's see, we have no low-level occultists, but we have a total of 1 occultist in the entire operation. It would probably be a good idea to get a second one. Let's see, which of these 2 occultists would be better? So, one of you has Weakening Curse, the other has Vulnerability Hex, and otherwise you're the same. How about quirks? Let's see, you have a Guilty Conscience and a Torn Rotator, and you are a Known Cheat and a Ruins Explorer. I'll take Sword of All.
To fight the abyss, one must know it.
And let's see. I have a bounty hunter, but honestly, having a second one would probably be a good idea.
The thrill of the hunt. The promise of payment.
And I currently only have 1 Plague Doctor. Having a second one could be helpful, especially because of Emboldening Vapors. So, that'll be the last one.
What better laboratory than the blood-soaked battlefield?
Now, let's pop over here and learn some skills. Alright, that's good for the occultist. And for the bounty hunter, actually he has everything important too. As does the Vestal. But let's upgrade the Flagellant. I mean, he will inevitably die, because the Flagellants always die for me, but let's upgrade it. Okay. And let's upgrade the high-level people a little bit. And let's see. Hound's Harry could actually be very useful against the flesh. Gale is good as is. I'm actually just gonna quick have Neo learn Emboldening Vapors. Alright. Okay, and Vernon. Yeah, Harvest could stand to be upgraded. As could Inspiring Tune. Okay, let's go visit the blacksmith before we completely run out of money and upgrade some equipment. Especially now that I can finally maximally upgrade equipment, and lo and behold, we're out of money. Okay. There are no bosses currently unlocked. The Endless Harvest. What can I do with that? So, endgame condition, Reflection of Decay. Goals, defeat as many enemies as possible. Reflection of Decay means we have reduced healing and the enemy has increased protection and stun and debuff resistance. But this is dark. This recommends heroes of Resolve level 6. As opposed to going for the Viscount, which only recommends Resolve level 5. However, I just got a shipment of new heroes, and I want to make progress towards the Necromancer. So let's give the noobs a chance to get some experience. Let's see. So you. Bring a Houndmaster. Okay. As usual, let's start by unequipping all trinkets. I always forget to do that. I always, some of the time, forget to do that. Alright, the Occultist gets a head and a Worry Stone. Plague Doctor gets the Blasphemous Vial and the other Worry Stone. Let's see, the Houndmaster gets the Evidence of Corruption. And the Archer's Ring. And the Bounty Hunter. We actually have a number of unique pieces of equipment for the Bounty Hunter, even though till now we haven't actually had any Bounty Hunters. I'm gonna go with the Crime Lord's Molars. And I like the description at the bottom. They will pay. We got plus 20% damage versus marked, stunned, and bleeding. At the cost of reducing his dodge by a lot. And I'm going to combine that with Dismas's head to get some real high damage numbers. Okay, let's explore the ruins and possibly unlock another boss fight. As always, grab a handful of shovels, a handful of food. Let me see something. And we do have access to Hound's Watch, so we can prevent nighttime ambush this time. Handful of bandages, a little anti-venom. There is a use for medicinal herbs, just not much of one. Holy water, and I refuse to forget the torches. 8 should actually be enough. And let us begin. The ruins bear all the signs of your ancestors' frenzied digging. It's kind of interesting, because that hint doesn't really give you useful information, it's just atmosphere.
And what better place to begin than the seat of our noble line?
Okay, not too bad of a layout, especially since we don't have to go back here. And even more scouting. That's nice. That's the results of said scouting are somewhat less than nice. And heirlooms. Heirlooms are always helpful. And our first room battle. And, wouldn't you know it, it's skeletons. I never would have guessed that there'd be skeletons here. You finish him on the Courtyard because it can kill him. Another abomination
cleansed from our land.
Hound's Rush on the other Courtyard because it can miss and leave me feeling disappointed. And Plague Grenade on the Courtyard to begin the process of actually killing him. Let's combine that with Demon's Pull to bring him a little closer. Okay, so we do have to deal with one tempting goblin before he dies. And then we just have to deal with the rabble.
Such a terrible assault cannot be left unanswered.
Unfortunately, the only answer I can come up with is, please don't.
Slowly.
Okay, that's the end of the Courtyard.
This is how a life is taken.
I'm gonna have him have the Houndmaster heal himself. And collect bounty on the rabble. And it actually managed to not kill.
Continue the onslaught.
Incision will finish the job.
Destroy them all.
Weird reconstruction. And bump in the night. That special move that does almost nothing. Okay, it was a miss, and I've been reliably informed that it being a miss means that it's your fault.
Be gone, fiend.
Okay, there we go. Let me actually rearrange. Okay, you have all of the abilities you have equipped. Can't trade Hands from the Abyss for Weakening Curse. I have Mark Exploitation in case I end up with somebody who's actually durable enough for it to be worth it. We're just getting all the scouting today. We're just all kinds of scouting. And plenty of traps to take advantage of the scouting. Ow!
Cruel machinations spring to life with a singular purpose.
Ah, cultists to supplement the skeletons. Okay. That bit of shuffling, I think, doesn't actually affect us much. Collect bounty will not one-shot without the target being stunned. I'm still going for it anyway. And of course we have to deal with Tempting Goblet, because we always have to deal with Tempting Goblet. I'm actually going to go for Weird Reconstruction as part of a larger plan. And Hound's Rush on the Brawler. Please inflict bleeding, please inflict bleeding, thank you. Okay, now we just have to deal with the Defender. The Plague Doctor should be able to handle the other two. Correction, has handled one of the other two. He doesn't have Mark for Death. I didn't think about that.
Impressive.
He doesn't need Mark for Death, apparently. Pretty soon the Acolyte's going to be all that's left. Unfortunately, she is enough, apparently.
Their formation is broken. Maintain the
and it also gets rid of the Acolyte, actually. You just need to deal with the Defender. And he's using Rampart, I mean Dead Weight.
Great is the weapon that cuts on its own.
Like a dog, you mean? And there we go.
Death by inches.
That's the end of that. Okay, let's get back into formation. And the stress levels are already looking a little high. And we have even more scouting. This is a generous map. I was wondering if I should take this as an insult. Like, yeah, we've seen how you play, Viking. You need the help. With vulnerability has to be one of the brawlers immediately. Ow.
A dizzying blow to body and brain.
Tempting Goblet, but at least it isn't on the Houndmaster this time. Alright, Plague Grenade and Vengeance for that Tempting Goblet. We meet Chemical Warfare with Chemical Warfare. And as for the what the Bounty Hunter just did, my disappointment is immeasurable and my day is ruined. Please cause beauty. Thank you. Who would have thought the Houndmaster would be more accurate than someone? I mean, the only one who out misses the Houndmaster usually is the Leopard.
The slow death, unforeseen, unforgiving.
Okay, let's go with Target Whistle on the Brawler. Also, they have dodge of 0. How do you miss that? Well, I guess this time you don't. Reconstruction. Whoa!
The flesh is knit.
And may as well go with Incision and miss. At least this time it was a dodge and not a miss.
As the fiend falls, a faint hope blossoms.
Alright. Quick bandage the other person. And pretty soon I am going to need to make camp just to deal with the stress. I think I'm going to go for the room battle with treasure and then we'll make camp. And disarm the trap. Trap disarmed. Ignore the books. Books ignored. And fight whatever's in here. And whatever's in here is more of the same. We did get the drop on them, which is a good place to start. We'll take a couple of rounds to get rid of these, but that's okay. The collect bounty has a small chance of killing his own soldier. I said small for a reason, but Weakening Curse won't kill, Vulnerability Hex won't kill, so I may as well use Vulnerability Hex on the Brawler.
Devastating blow.
Yeah, gotta love those 1 damage criticals, and Hound's Rush might kill. And because it consistently gets the bleeding, we have a kill. Eventually. Eldritch Push. That actually doesn't really matter. This is very shuffle resistant.
Give them no quarter.
Okay, I was a little worried about that one, but Stressful Incantation managed
Confidence surges as the enemy crumbles.
Tempting Goblet on the other... also managed to miss. Perfect. And it really does not matter, because these will both die from their damage over time on their next turn, so you may as well just heal
The
yourself. Hope
wounds
for a
of
critical.
war can be healed, but never hidden.
And uppercut the cultist, because you can. And weird reconstruction. And more weird reconstruction, and we at least all have full health. And he still isn't going to get a turn, so I guess the bounty hunter has to finish him off.
As victories mount, so too will resistance.
Camp, and I'm actually going to take a risk and feast, because I'm fairly certain this is the last room battle. So we really need the stress reduction. Alright. Hound's Watch to guarantee that we don't get ambushed, and then I may as well use Therapy Dog, which unfortunately does not actually reduce the stress of the Hound Master himself, and I don't have any other abilities that might do that. So the best I can do is Pep Talk, which will reduce the stress that he gains. And I may as well encourage the Plague Doctor. Yeah, the Hound Master is going to need a drink when this is all over.
In Radiance, may we find victory.
Chest. It still is fairly likely that the Hound Master winds up afflicted by the end of all of this. But unless there's a room battle here, which there might be, but I hope there isn't, we can at least get the we can at least complete the mission with low stress overall. We just have one. I guess this is like our stress scapegoat. The Hound Master is the only one who actually has to deal with any stress this mission. And more skeletons and cultists. Who would have thought? Collect bounty and collect disappointment. And I'm actually just going to use Hound's Rush on Acolyte. So we reduce the number of turns that she gets to live. And she's... okay, she's taking 5 points of damage over time. This might do it. Yep. Weakening Curse for the win. Still have to deal with the Courtyard for a moment longer, though. And, of course, he picks exactly the right target for Tempting Goblet, and his resolve is tested. And he's paranoid.
The walls close in. The shadows whisper of conspiracy.
And vulnerability hex on... yeah, I'll use it on the Brawler. I can use Target Whistle on the Defender. That way I can also get rid of some of that protection that keeps causing problems. In fact, almost all of it. Get rid of the Brawler.
Decimated.
Come on, we reduced him by a lot more than 10%. And Tempting Goblet, which is a bit less of a problem now, though there is always the risk of heart attack. And Crush, Axe Blade. Let's go with Incision. It will do very little, but whatever. We had to get a 0 eventually. We had to get a 0 from Weird Reconstruction eventually. And I don't have Battlefield Medicine to help make up the slack. I do have Collect Bounty, though.
These nightmarish creatures can be felled. They can be
let's open the sarcophagus and see what's in there, and the answer is nothing. Okay, back to the hamlet.
More bones return to rest. Devils remanded to their abyss.
Let's see what we've gained from this. 3,800 gold. Which is... we've, like, barely made back our investment on that mission in terms of cash. But plenty of heirlooms. And the main goal here, experience. So, the Houndmaster is a risk taker. Plus 10% damage, minus 10 dodge. You know, that could actually be good. Combine that with maybe a class that can use Defender.
before the crows and rats made
You know,
it their
back him up
domain.
with a man-at-arms. You can use Defender on him, so his low dodge doesn't really matter. And... you know what? Okay, we've unlocked the mid-level version of the Necromancer. But you know what? I'm in a bit of a risk-taking mood. Let's go after the, let's go after the Viscount. Let's see. So Presticott in position 1, Bolbeck in position 4, Frossart in position 3, and Dismas in position 2. The question is about Dismas or Tornabut. I'm actually gonna bring a Houndmaster instead of a Highwayman, so that way I have two different people who can mark targets. But yep, I'm finally going after the Viscount. I still only have one invitation, so I'm gonna have to make this count. But the bedtime story and the childhood treasure of the Arablest. And let's make sure, so Sniper Shot, Sniper's Mark, Bola, and Battlefield Bandage. That is good. Let's see. How upgraded are they? Not as much as I would like because of lack of funds, but I'm just going to have to deal with it. Because I don't have the money. For the Vestal, she gets the Healer Special, Junia's Head, and the Worry Stone. For the Houndmaster, let's see. Get the Evidence of Corruption. And then I'll give him an Archer's Ring. And I finally have a complete set for the Crusader. And one of the effects of that is a nice big boost to max HP. Okay, I think I can do this. My skills aren't as upgraded as I'd like them to be, but I still think that this is viable. And I can take on the Necromancer later, and if I'm lucky, I'll even get one of those cocoons and get another invitation. Okay, I'm going to bring one full stack of blood. Bring a respectable amount of food, but not a huge amount. So one full stack is... I'll bring a stack and a third. Bring a handful of shovels. A handful of torches, but not necessarily a lot. As usual, keys, holy water, medicinal herbs, and then profuse bandages and anti-venom. Okay, that's I'm gonna dial that back a little bit. One full stack of each is probably enough. Okay, let's do this. We also have...
feasting and revelry would last for weeks at a time. Great stone tables were set with such an abundance of rare delicacies that we would stuff ourselves until the exotic became mundane. When the lavish spread began to spoil, a ravenous gourmand gleefully proposed that we sample from the fetid pile of composting refuse. The notion was dismissed as decidedly unhealthy. But days later, he was found cackling madly atop a heap of rancid comestibles, licking his fingers in delight.
You know, this is already horrifying, and now they've just added disgusting on top of the horrifying.
The corpulent braggart could never eat his fill. Let him dine on sharpened steel tonight.
Well, let's hope we have enough of it for him. Okay, and we still have Bloodlight. And let's burn down a thronging hive and get some loot.
A handsome reward for a task well performed.
Okay. As usual, for an epic-sized quest, it's pretty unlikely that I will actually manage to complete this in one run. Okay, that's a bit of a problem. Damsel in distress, plus 45% protection. Okay, let's see if we can stun him. No luck? Let's try again. Okay, we've removed the defender status. That is good. Because now I can use Sniper's Mark, which also reduces her dodge to basically 0, and Hound's Rush. Won't kill in one, but it will do a lot. The thirst. And it worked too. That's bad. It did not inflict. Oh right, she marked the flesh eater, so I can have the Arabless just unload on the flesh eater while everyone else deals with the courtesan. Go for dazzling light to prevent her from using the thirst again. Fail because her. But the courtesan can heal herself. The flesh eater cannot, so I want to focus on the courtesan.
As the fiend falls,
like now.
Hope blossoms.
And now we can kill the flesh eater. Go for another mark. Reduce his dodge to actually 0. 0 is a good amount of dodge for the enemy to have, in my opinion. All enemies should just have 0 dodge.
And now the
holy fuck!
Hold fast or expire.
I know that was a critical hit, but going from full health to death's door in 1 is still terrifying. We may not be adequately prepared for this. I guess I'm about to find out.
Well struck.
That critical is moving me in the direction of having faith that we can pull this off. And the rewards are certainly nice if we survive.
Triumphant pride precipitates a dizzying fall.
On the other hand, the Houndmaster desperately needs healing. He was hoping the Vestal goes before the enemy does. Nope. Already disappointed. Okay, she resisted the move at least. Okay, Damsel in Distress means that she's not going to, Let's go with Sniper Shot on the Squire. A 38% chance to critical is rather nice, even if his protection is elevated. And Hound's Rush to finish the job.
Broken. Maintain the offensive.
Can I one-shot the manservant? I cannot, so let's go for Stunning Blow. And stunningly, I missed that blow. And that is what I was hoping to prevent. Okay, damage and horror.
Even the boldest gaze.
Okay, let's go with Sniper's Mark on the manservant. Reduces dodge to a more manageable level, and then hit him with Hound's Rush. Please bleed, please bleed, please bleed, thank you. Okay, Divine Grace. That is good. And again, you're not going to be able to one-shot with Smite, but her stun resistance is only 85%, which you may be able to overcome. Strike. Like so.
Great is the weapon that cuts on its own.
Okay, Battlefield Bandage, because you can't, I suppose... no, I can't even reach the courtesan with Sniper's Mark because she's in position 1. However, she doesn't get to act this turn, so between Hound's Rush and Smite, I should be able to take it down. Should, but can't. Well, sort of. She gets one more action, then she bleeds to death. Or not. I just need to stop saying these things. Can't reach with Sniper's Mark. Can reach with Bola. And Hound's Rush. Okay, there we go.
Destroy them all.
What's worth dropping? I'm just gonna consume the extra stack of food in favor of... Honestly, I'm gonna go for the emeralds this time. Rather than the, busts. Okay, so we've discovered our first lock, and it's blue this time. Let's head to the location of the curio and see what we get. Okay, blood flowers. I'm gonna have to come back this way. I'll get the blood flowers on the way back. So again, there's going to be a series of keys and then a series of locks. So we've already located the... I'm calling that blue. I suppose you could call it purple lock. Fountain. Let's purify the damn fountain. Minus 30 stress. Ow. Wait, that did nothing. He stepped in a trap and it just did nothing. That's weird. Surprisingly little violence lately. You know, we've had those big fights right at the beginning, and... Okay, same thing for the thronging hive. I'm probably going to have to come back this way. I can collect it on the way back when my inventory is likely to be emptier. Okay, and now it's time for some more violence. Okay, Raging Slight. At least I don't need to worry about the move portion of that ability. Sniper's Mark, yeah, reduces dodge. I'm gonna go after the Sycophant first, actually. Because I can probably one-shot it after I've, been brought to death's door by the squires.
The end approaches.
I'm just gonna go for Divine Comfort, get some wide area healing, because everybody's a little messed up. Okay, can Smite one-shot? No. Stun then. Or not. But Hound's Rush has a decent chance to one-shot the Sycophant. It failed. Because he's going to use the Thirst and heal himself. And now we have Infallible Servitude, creating extra problems. And also the other squire has riposte now, so if I attack him, he'll punish me. In these circumstances, I'm just going for Bola.
Confidence surges as the enemy crumbles.
Okay, we're rid of one of them. Best I'll just continue trying to out-heal the damage.
Sedated.
Not really sure what to do. What can Hound's Rush do to the Manservant? 5 to 8 because of his high protection. Let's just go with Target Whistle on him for now. Wait, that actually works. Because, well, the Crusader can't actually reach the Manservant directly. If I smite the Squire, he will miss the Manservant. Though the game informs me that's not his fault, because he dodged, actually. Okay, things are starting to go a little wrong. Okay, that just means that the Arablest loses her turn, which is an issue, but it's not the worst thing in the world. Okay, use a bandage, and then I'm just gonna go for Smite and try to actually inflict some damage. Combine that with Hound's Rush, which literally did minimum damage. And more Infallible Servitude. Well, Bola. It'll hit the Manservant, not the Squire, but I'm going for it anyway. This is just drawing this process out. And the Thirst is making that worse. And now somebody else has the Crimson Curse. Why? Because fuck you, that's why.
Press this advantage. Give them
that's the Squire gone. Which of you has fewer hit points? This one. Or that's the Manservant gone. And another miss. This is what happens when your enemies all have dodge north of 20. Sniper shot. Won't kill, but it'll at least get us close. And Hound's Rush will finish the job. Okay, that leaves just the last one. Bandage and some healing from the vessel.
A momentary abatement.
And a desperately needed critical. Smite could kill. Won't, but could have. Bola. Okay, we're alive. Relatively speaking.
This expedition at least promises success.
Eat the food that we just found, and I'm actually gonna ditch the medicinal herbs for the busts. I don't know for certain that there are medicinal herb interactions here. And just a random... Oh ho ho.
Many fall in the face of chaos, but not this one. Not today.
And he came out virtuous, at least. The Crusader is stalwart. But just random I've never had that happen before. Random hallway stress caused his resolve to be tested. Okay, we have another curio up here, and another hallway battle. And what do you got for us? Oh, supplicants! We haven't had those yet today. Sniper shot. Sniper shot on the manservant, just as a warm-up. Dazzling light on the sycophant, because I'm not going to be able to kill it this turn. And everybody else just gang up on the manservant until he isn't alive anymore. That went easier than expected. And target whistle on one of the supplicants. Okay, that's a decently rounded out turn. Only the supplicants get to act on the first round.
Exposed to a killing blow.
Unfortunately, predigestion does a lot, especially when it gets critical. And the thirst also causes problems. Okay. Anti-venom and sniper shot. Oh, gotta love that elevated critical rate against marked. Yeah, stick with Divine Comfort for the Vestal. Just keep healing people. Gather the Blood has a chance of causing the Crimson Curse. It doesn't this time. I should have probably used... Wait, no, Target Whistle doesn't reduce dodge. Sniper's Mark does. Bombing Run. The good news about Bombing Run is that it isn't the thirst, and it does not heal the user. Okay, let's see if I can finish this thing off with Bola. I cannot. Let's see if I can finish it off with Judgment. I cannot. Let's see if I can finish it off with Smite. Oh, I can't reach it even. Well, Hound's Rush for the win. Okay, Battlefield Bandage on yourself, Bolduc. And Hound's Rush.
Success so clearly in view. Or is it merely a trick of the light?
You know, I'm unlikely to... Actually, I'm going to ditch the... Yeah, I'm unlikely to run into... No, I'll ditch the Holy Water for the crest. I was considering ditching the dog treats, but honestly, the next time I run into a... If I run into a Chevalier in this mission, I really should use it against them. Should use the dog treats against them. Okay, another Thronging Hive. And I'm going to gamble that the route with the obstruction is the route that I actually need to go. And more blood flowers to get to later. Oh, right, the obstruction is cured by a torch. And I'm just going to treat the craving... and the Crusader has bloodlust. He's both... he's both virtuous and has bloodlust at the same time. This is going to be interesting to see how those two interact with each other. And a trap, but at least we dodged it. I will say, the combat in these epic missions is a bit less dense than it is in normal missions. I suppose to balance out the fact that the missions are so much longer. More blood flowers. And we're approaching a hallway battle, and what do we got? An insatiable ghoul.
Grievous
And of course, the sycophant opens up with the thirst.
Fear.
And our magic resolve is tested, and I'm not lucky enough to get two different virtues in a single mission. Blood for all! Okay, and blight for all, too, apparently. Okay. Or at least rid of the one enemy that can heal itself. Okay, that's actually helpful. Marked it and reduced its protection. That's probably what I would have ordered him to do.
The horror.
Alright. Anti-venom and some healing. Okay, and we've already got the irrational guy refusing to be healed. Fortunately, he didn't need to be healed. Alright, Hound's Rush. Hounds miss. I really should have used the dog treats. Okay, sniper shot. That at least did something, and something isn't nothing. Ow.
Death waits for the slightest lapse in concentration.
Best always gets to recover from stun. I should be able to one-shot the Flesh Eater with Smite.
Obliterated.
Especially if I get a critical, then I can definitely one-shot it with Smite. And I'm loving that elevated critical rate. Bandage and Smite.
Monster's size has no intrinsic merit, unless inordinate exsanguination be considered a virtue.
I'm just gonna take a gamble and drop the keys for the crests. Okay, and now we've reached whatever this is. Just more blood flowers. Okay, let's continue. Unfortunately, I'm not sure how much farther we can continue. Risen Shrew. Being mutters an incantation. What did that do? Okay. The Crusader's back down to the passive level of craving. Or no, he's passive and the other guy's craving. And this has been a very long thread without finding anything. Is this gonna turn out to just be a wild goose chase? Okay, I said I would use the dog treats when we ran into Chevaliers and I meant it. This is the time for them. This is also likely to be the last fight we survive. Sniper's mark on you first. That won't reduce your protection, but it will reduce your evasion. Ah, damn it. And that's part of the problem with this. I'm going in with somebody who's afflicted.
A dizzying blow to body and brain.
Well, fuck. How are we gonna get out of this? And she's irrational, too. We're,
Reeling, gasping, taken over the edge into madness.
Okay. The good news is she survived the death blow check from, She survived the death blow check from the bleeding. Okay, Smite won't kill in one, but it will contribute to a kill.
How quickly the tide turns.
Alright. Unfortunately, the enemy is racking up damage fast. We need to remove some of them. Fine pallet, and that even caused damage too. Alright. Bandage and bulwark. Okay, that's one of them gone at least. In hindsight, maybe I should have gone for the Chevalier with sniper shot, but I figure I went for the guaranteed kill. Okay, dog treats and the blood.
Or cowardice.
Alright. This still probably won't kill, but it's at least a start. Subterranean Skewer narrowly manages not to place the Arablest at death's door, so of course Buried Blast will do it instead.
Perched at the
Wonderful.
very precipice.
And one of the healers is stunned too.
This is no
Oh,
place
come
for
the
weak
fuck
or
on,
foolhardy.
Frossart, you're fired. You're the medic. You're not supposed to be killing your teammates. How is? Wait a minute. Oh no, she wasn't. For a second, no, yeah. The Arablest was at death's door because of the Buried Blast, and then the Vestal got a, affliction trigger that caused her to attack her teammate, and that was a death blow. Nice job, Frostart. Nice job. That was extremely helpful.
And regroups.
Okay, we're getting out of here. And I'm just gonna go collect, since we're in an area, since we've confirmed that there aren't going to be any enemies in this area because we killed all of them, I'm just gonna collect some loot to make up for the extra inventory space, and then we're getting out of here. We're not gonna win even just that fight with 3 people, much less make it any farther in the overall mission. Blood flowers.
Wealth beyond measure. Awarded to the brave and the foolhardy alike.
Since no one is on death's door, even if they have a heart attack, they'll still survive. So I'm just going to go back through this area a little bit and collect some things until I start running into hallway battles respawning. Okay, more blood flowers. Get rid of the dog treats in exchange for the deeds. Get rid of the torches in exchange for the bust. Get rid of the anti-venom in exchange for the onyx. The only thing I really need to hold on to is food. Oh wait, giving up torches means I can't do the thronging hive. But I still have the material. Okay, and a hallway battle is spawned in, which means now we need to get out of here. Okay, we did all we could, and we managed to lose someone.
You think you know.
I'm gonna be honest, I knew I wasn't prepared for that. I didn't need to learn. The good news is heirlooms. Lots of heirlooms. The bad news is we lost an experienced hero. Okay, and we got some new quirks, I guess. Obsessed with the paranormal. Increased stress if the torch is low, that's not a big deal. And reduced virtue chance, that kind of is a big deal.
Life. The greatest treasure of all.
And I have another From Beyond. I guess my luck is holding out a little bit. I'm going for one of the two, I'm definitely going for one of the two, flagellants. But, well, I have it. That just, and that happened on the same mission in which I lost someone, so I didn't have to dismiss anyone to accept the new hero. Yeah, that's my luck for you. Sometimes I feel like the game is going easy on me. Okay. Let's look into upgrading some things. I could easily upgrade the training regimen. I just need a few more portraits. 7 more portraits.
A strict regimen is paramount if one is to master the brutal arithmetic of combat.
The rest of the gold is going to treat the stress. Partially because I have heroes who... Normally I can let heroes just gradually de-stress on their own. But when I have heroes that actually are afflicted, they need stress treatment. And congratulations, we're out of money again. Okay, what disease does she have? The creeping cough, so that's actually a big deal. Let's see if I can treat that. What would that cost? 1,000 gold. We can afford it. Sort by level. And what to do next? I could go after the Necromancer, and I would get the Sacred Scroll, which is actually fairly helpful for a Vestal. Who would I bring for the Necromancer? Let's see. I think I know who I would bring. It's a bit of an odd team composition. But Gale in the front, Foliot in position 2, Neo in position 3, and it would be better to bring a Vestal, but we don't have any, so Stafford in position 4. Stafford's abilities are correct, so let's just kit everyone out. Yep. After going on an epic mission and failing, I'm going after a boss fight. I am that crazy. Turn on unequip all trinkets, sort by class. As usual, the occultist is very focused on getting ahead in life. For the Plague Doctor, we get the blast from this vial, which also increases his stun skill chance, yes. And let's see. What else would be worth equipping him with? If I had anything else that was good for healing, I'll just give him a Blightstone to further increase his Blight skill chance. For the Abomination, it's the Lock of Fury. And the Unholy Slayer's Ring. The Leper. So he gets a Warrior's Cap and a Legendary Bracer. Okay, I think I can make this work. Got Battlefield Medicine, Disorienting Blast, Plague Grenade, and Noxious Blast for the Plague Doctor. I think we can do this. It's going to be difficult, but I think we can do it. Alright. Bring plenty of food. Handful of shovels. Another full stack of the blood. Some anti-venom and some bandages, but not a lot. Decent number of keys. Holy water for the road. And torches. Plenty of torches. Okay, we're broke. If this mission doesn't succeed, we are ruined. We'd best succeed.
I entertained a delegation of experts from overseas, eager to plumb the depths of their knowledge and share with them certain techniques and alchemical processes I had found to yield wondrous and terrifying results. Having learned all I could from my visiting guests, I murdered them as they slept.
Remind me not to attend any parties with the ancestor.
A devil walks these halls. Only the mad or the desperate go in search of him.
Okay, let's... He's only craving, which means if I give him the blood, it'll bump him up to bloodlust. I'm betting that the necromancer is here. This is actually a pretty... There's a bit of a risk associated with it, but this is actually a fairly generous map layout because I don't need to go through very many rooms. Nice job, dumbass. Well, he resisted the bleeding. But I don't need to go through very many rooms before reaching the boss, assuming I'm right about where he is. Please stun. Thank you. Alright. Just hit him with Weakening Curse, just to soften him up a little bit more. Plague Grenade should finish the job, especially if it gets a critical. Okay, but because the leper is extremely slow, we're going to have to deal with being gravely nibbled. And hew.
Another one falls.
And there we go. This is what happens when you boost the leper's accuracy.
The slow death. Unforeseen. Unforgiving.
Okay. And the Crimson Cord enemies, because we haven't had enough of those this episode. Their blight resistance is very high. Screw it, transform. Okay. Rage against the sycophant. And unfortunately it isn't dead. Noxious Blast will finish the job,
surges
though.
as the enemy crumbles.
Okay, Weakening Curse on the Chevalier. The main goal is to reduce its damage, though reducing its protection is also helpful. And can Chop one-shot the Sycophant? Why, yes it can! Buried Blast is always a problem, though. Rage again. Okay. Now I just need the leper to hit something. bandage. And weird reconstruction. I'm already missing having access to Divine Comfort, though. Because the damage is really distributed right now. And now the damage is not really distributed anymore.
Obliterated.
Okay, that's the end of the Sycophant, and now the Chevalier is in a rather uncomfortable position. Okay, Battlefield Medicine on the Plague Doctor. Weird reconstruction on the Plague Doctor.
The wounds of war can be healed.
Solemnity.
Great is the weapon that cuts on its own.
I will say it is quite helpful that every member of this team has some kind of healing ability. Okay, so... every member of this team has the ability to heal themselves. Now, let's curry some favor with the gods. Plus 30% damage until camp. I may actually need to... Nah, I'm still gonna make camp when we are right before. Let me make sure this... Yeah, this leper has access to reflection. That by itself is worth making camp over. Remove the leper's one weakness and make him basically invincible. Okay. And now we just have to deal with stone and ghouls. I just don't think I'm equal to this task. Beast's Bile on the ghoul. Won't do much, but it'll do a little. 4 damage per turn is actually quite a bit of light damage. Not much point in using Vulnerability Hex because none of these enemies... There's nobody on this team can exploit marks. Weird Reconstruction is always good, though. And our old friend Chop.
Be gone, fiend.
Bandage. And now I can hit both of them with Beast's Bile. Lash of the tail. Please don't stun. Please don't stun. Damn it. Alright. Well, let's just weaken the ghoul. I'm mainly actually going for the damage debuff out of fear of whatever it is he does next. And since he missed, I suppose I didn't need to worry about that. And again, you can't know these things ahead of time. Okay, that's the end of the gargoyle, and the ghoul isn't looking too good either. Let's add some Noxious Blast for that lovely accuracy buff.
A death by inches.
And... and another swing and a miss. Okay. We're pretty good. Now I can use Solemnity and Absolution to just get some quick health and stress healing while we wait for the ghoul to die. And I may as well use Battlefield Medicine for a critical.
And
there we go.
Champion falls.
The other cool thing about leaving the ghoul for last is that I believe reinforcements cannot arrive while there's a size 2 enemy on the field. Okay, this is going to be interesting. Let's start with Manacles on the Bloodrunner. And as usual, Plague Grenade to torment the backline. And Chop to just do nothing but let the leper feel like he's doing something while waving his sword around in the air. And Weakening Curse on the Cutthroat. Okay, Blanket Fire. I managed to hit everyone on the first try this time. Okay, let's go with Beast's Bile, because why not? And Plague Grenade, for obvious reasons.
Slowly, gently. This is how a life
Bandage, and another Chop, and let's try to hit this time. That's what I'm talking about.
As the fiend falls, a faint hope blossoms.
Another Weakening Curse to even further reduce his ability to cause, or fail to do anything except 1 damage. That's the other thing that could happen. And
The
manacles
bigger
for the
feast,
win.
the greater the glory. Success so clearly in view. Or is it
Jade
merely
for the
a trick
sapphire.
of the light?
Pop a key in this keyhole.
Packs laden with loot
Drop
are
an extra
often low
torch in
on
exchange for the
supplies.
onyx. Actually, I'll drop the last bandage for the warrior's bracer. That's actually potentially very useful. Okay. Yeah, I'll stick with Beast's Vial for the abomination for now. I mean, it accomplished nothing, but let's stick with it anyway. Because the leper has a pretty good chance of one-shotting the gargoyle.
Executed with
There's not much point in doing anything to the front gargoyle with anyone other than the leper. Gale really has been the MVP for pretty much this entire playthrough. Gale has just kind of handled everything. Well, okay, that's a bit of an exaggeration, but he was there for taking out the Baron. He was there for pretty much every expedition to try to confront the Baron. Gale has contributed a lot.
Their formation is broken. Maintain the offensive.
Stick with Weakening Curse. The more we can reduce its damage, the better. Reducing its protection is just a nice bonus. I wish it hadn't stunned the Plague Doctors. Then I could have actually gone for the accuracy buff. Now we're out of bandages, so I need the Plague Doctor to get a turn soon. Okay, go for Absolution. Come on, Battlefield Medicine. Perfect. Get rid of the bleeding that way. Weird Reconstruction. The Plague Doctor himself isn't in the best of shape. And there we go.
Size alone does not dissuade the sharpened blade.
Okay, I'm not worrying about the journal page this time. What to drop in favor? I'll drop the 600 gold in favor of the tapestry. And heirlooms. Which I can't keep. Okay, we are at least near the boss, though. And it isn't turning out like the Siren, where in addition to just the distance, there's just a crazy number of enemies. There's quite a few, but not as bad as I was worried it would be. You know what? Again, Crimson Court enemies are dangerous. I'm going for Transform. And this time I'm going to stick with Rake. Accumulate the Rake damage buff. Okay, Plague Grenade, because there's not a lot else that the Plague Doctor can do. I'm going to go with Demon's Pull on the Sycophant so I can bring it in and kill it quickly. And that's already a failure because of predigestion. Okay, at least it's using Gather the Blood on someone who already has the Crimson Curse. Alright. Let's see. Chop will definitely kill. Hugh has a decent chance of killing. And it failed to kill either. I have flown too close to the sun and my wings have melted. But Rake will take care of them.
Give them no quarter.
And Disorienting Blast has the further benefit of getting rid of the corpses. Weird Reconstruction. And we get another 0. At least it didn't cause bleeding this time. Well, it didn't cause bleeding the last time, but you know what I mean, probably.
Continually
And there we
onslaught.
go.
Destroy them all.
Okay. Protective Padlock. I'm actually gonna ditch the holy water for the protective padlock. Some of these trinkets are actually quite useful. And in this next room is where we make camp. Right past the sack full of disappointment and sorrow. Okay, do we have scouting? We do not have scouting, so I'm taking a bit of a risk, but it's a worthwhile risk. Feast.
Gathered close in tenuous firelight and uneasy companionship.
Okay, reflection. And wound care on the Plague Doctor. Again. And I don't have any means of I'll use anger management to reduce the stress of the Plague Doctor a little bit. And I don't have anything that prevents nighttime ambush, so... And we have a nighttime ambush.
Can be found in the most
and it's Crimson Court enemies
to
make things even worse. Okay. We're going for Transform. Can I use Slam from position 4? Okay, and the Plague Doctor is fearful. This is already going
Fear
wrong.
and frailty finally claim their due.
Fortunately, these enemies are relatively fragile. Once I can get the Abomination into position 1, we should be okay. Or even just into position anywhere near the front. Move back 1. Move back 2. Okay, now it's just the leper who's out of position. And we're working on that. Unfortunately, that base just getting back into formation basically consumed the entire round. Okay, rake. Fortunately, we're dealing with the exception of Sycophant, or the Supplicants, I mean, enemies that don't leave behind corpses. Let's see if we can make it through this. Move back 1 so that the leper has a shot. And we're gonna need to do some weird reconstructioning. Okay, Q might kill, but it doesn't. Weird reconstruction on the Plague Doctor. Okay, we're in formation against enemies that don't have move abilities. The worst is over. Rake. Perfect. Battlefield medicine to get rid of the blight. Weakening curse because it's something that you can contribute. Gather the blood does not heal the user. And Q.
Eradicated.
And I'm actually going to have you transform back. And use Absolution. Mainly to get rid of the stress, but a little health healing is also important. Ow.
Reeling. About to break.
Battlefield medicine again. I'm just gambling on the leper being able to finish off the Sycophant.
Decimated.
High risk, but it paid off. Okay. Back to formation.
Remind yourself that overconfidence is a slow and insidious killer.
I'm not I'm not even marginally confident. I'm not even marginally confident that we can do this anymore, but I'm gonna try anyway because I am insane. Alright. Cleanse the Iron Maiden. Light it on a torch.
The way is lit.
Get hit
The
by a
path
trap.
is clear. We require only the strength to follow it.
And here we are.
Fierce. Terrible. Nightmare-made material.
That's not what I meant to do. Oops. Decline. Okay. I don't care what effect this has on anyone's stress levels. Transform. And rage. I'm gonna go with Vulnerability Hex because I want to reduce its dodge all the way down to 0. And I failed, but it was worth trying. And Chop. Okay, the good news about the Necromancer is, relative to the kind of damage that these heroes are capable of putting on the board, this thing does not have very much health. Stick with Rage, and when it gets too far back, I can use Plague Grenade. And right now, I can still hit it with Noxious Blast. Just going for damage. Even putting bones on the ground is no defense. Okay, yeah, that could have been a higher healing roll for that occultist. Okay. And Hue, which fails to remove either. That's a bit of a problem. And I can still reach the Necromancer with Rage. Oh! You know, another decent hit from Plague Grenade, and I think we're done. Okay, not... Yeah. Because it gets to use one more attack, and then it dies. Oh, it only gets one action per round. Well, let's see if we can claw our way towards it while we wait for it to keel over. And making up for that 3 with a critical. Perfect. Which means we're guaranteed to survive until the Necromancer gets another action, and then it dies. Okay, let's go with Rake. That'll get rid of the corpse. Not that any of this matters anymore. And you know what? Let's just finish it off with Plague Grenade. Wait, that wasn't enough, but that was.
Even reanimated bones can fall.
Okay.
Even the dead can die again.
And another blueprint. So I guess it is, like, mid-level bosses do actually drop blueprints. May as well grab the Boon Ring. And let's get out of here before something terrible manages to happen. That was way more risk than I ever should have taken, but I got away with it. And another boss is done with a decent haul of cash and a really marginal haul of heirlooms. And Gale is up to champion level. Alright.
In time, you will know the tragic extent of my failings.
Okay. Let's start by stress treating the afflicted people. And let's see if I can treat Stafford at the bar. I'm not risking contagion. And that was another successful boss run. Let's see, what else is there that I can spend gold on? Well, my champion level people have some issues with their skills not being as upgraded as... Actually, no, they don't. I can upgrade Judgment, but I forgot that for some reason I was looking at skills and seeing they were upgraded to level 4, and I thought that I could upgrade them one level higher than that when the hero is Resolve level 5, but I forgot 5 is actually the maximum upgrade level for a skill, and I haven't unlocked Instructor Mastery level 5 yet. I really should start saving up for. Instead, let's upgrade a couple of the mid-level people, and now I can't afford to upgrade anyone any further. However, having defeated another boss and made at least some progress on the next epic quest, I'd say now is the time to end this episode. I thank you all for watching. I love you all, and I will see you next time.